Hi, welcome back to another episode of my kitchen. Today we're going to do something really great. We're going to be making cassava chips. Now cassava chips, if you've been to an Indian restaurant where cassava chips are on the menu, 9 times out of 10 the owners of that restaurant are from Kenya or East Africa, where cassava or cassava is very popular, and it makes a really great side dish and an amazing alternative, an exotic alternative to French fries. So here I'm using frozen cassava. I'm not using the, you might see it, it looks like a yam in the shops. It's, you've got to peel it, you've got to, etc. So for convenience, I'm using frozen cassava. You can buy it in the ethnic section of the frozen aisle in many superstores now, supermarkets, the Asian shop, etc. So they're frozen. We're going to blanch these and we're going to season the water with some turmeric and some salt, and then we're going to fry them. And we've got quite a number of garnishes here that are going to make this dish really exotic and exciting. We've got some chili flakes, we've got some pepper, we've got some all-purpose seasoning, whatever your favourite all-purpose seasoning is, use that. And we've got some lemon juice that we're using instead of vinegar, and we've got some coriander for garnish. So let's get cooking. So first, I'm using about 15 cassava chips or madiok or yucca, whatever you want to call it. Different names, different countries. So let's start by adding the salt, the turmeric. You don't need, a generous pinch of turmeric. Turmeric goes a long way. You don't have to use a lot. And we're going to let that come to the boil. Give it a stir. The salt dissolves. We're going to let that come to the boil, and we're going to add our cassava chips. So that water, great colour, is boiling now. We're going to add our cassava chips. A little bit of a stir, and we're going to let those simmer now until they're not frozen anymore and they've softened and sucked up some of that amazing colour. We'll come back to that shortly. Come back every minute or so, give it a little bit of a stir. Boil for about 4 to 5 minutes on a gentle simmer. So add about just over a litre of oil to a pan. I'm using rapeseed oil for health and taste. You can use any type of oil that you want. I've drained my cassava chips. They're steaming off now. I want them as dry as possible, so I'm inviting that steam, and they'll cool down, ready to go into the hot oil shortly. And just to add, look at the colour. Let's just get a zoom in on that. Okay, so let's let our oil heat up and we're ready to cook. So that oil's nicely heated now. Let's add our cassava chips. And you fry those exactly the same as you would French fries, chips, crisps, whatever. Okay, we're going to come back to that when they're nice and cooked. Give the cassava chips a stir occasionally so they cook evenly. And cook, the key word is always golden brown, isn't it? So we'll come back to that in a moment. So as you can see, they've started to turn a nice golden yellow colour actually. So that's just how I want them. You don't want to cook them for too long. They can have a tendency to go slightly woody. But the good thing about this recipe, because we blanched them or parboiled them first, the centre is going to be really nice and fluffy. And obviously we seasoned our water as well. So here they are, looking great, aren't they? Just can't wait to get that seasoning. It's just going to add, that garnish is really going to make it great. So we'll come back to that in a moment. I'll just let those drain off somewhat. So for anybody that doesn't know what a cassava is, it's very similar to a potato, but it's thicker, it's denser, and it's a lot more tropical and exotic. These have been draining now, the excess oils off. Let's just break one in half. Can you see that fluffy centre? Just make sure we can get a close-up on that. I don't know whether you can see that properly, but what a great fluffy centre that has. So let's season them now. What I like to do, I like to pour them into a colander, and just to get the season really you know, thoroughly all over the chips. Just turn them around, sprinkle them on. Because we're using all-purpose seasoning as well, it's pretty salty. You don't need to use any salt. Okay, a little bit of pepper, same again. Give it a good shake. A little bit of pepper and some chili flakes. Only need a little pinch for colour, and we're almost ready to serve. Let's just bring this over here. So there's our bowl. Let's put our cassava chips in. And a little bit more garnish with the chili flakes, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of that all-purpose flour just on top. Squeeze some lemon on, we're using lemon. You could use lime, even more exotic. Just instead of vinegar, really just brings the taste, the flavour out. Okay, and finally, a little bit of coriander. Now there you have it, quick and simple, really easy to make, delicious. I challenge you to try it, it's awesome. Really heightens the fish and chips, or you know, the French fry type of recipe. These are really great as a side dish with your favourite saucy curry. So let's just make sure we can zoom in. Okay, so there it is, cassava chips. Thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the recipe, and feel free to like, share and subscribe.